Earth remained calm on the surface, but beneath the calm, humanity was awakening. The massive alien ship lingered in orbit, silent and imposing, watching every move. Its presence had changed everything. Governments, scientists, and engineers had formed secret task forces, working together for the first time in history. The mission was clear: understand the alien technology and show that politeness did not equal weakness. Dr. Alina Ward stood before a large holographic display, showing a rotating model of the alien ship. Patterns of energy pulses, drones, and communication channels were projected in glowing lines. Her team worked silently, but with intense focus. "We have mapped the drone's flight patterns," Alina said. "We know how they move when they scan and the areas they focus on. This gives us an advantage. We can predict their behavior." Ravi nodded, leaning on the console. "They think they are observing us, but now we can observe them. And not just observe, we can disrupt without them realizing it." The plan was subtle. Humans did not want to provoke an open attack yet. They wanted to send a message without aggression. Using satellites, ground-based systems, and carefully coded signals, they began interfering with the drone sensors. The interference was minimally enough to cause slight confusion, but not enough to provoke a retaliation. Above Earth, the aliens noticed something unusual. One of the commanders observed the drone's data feed and frowned. "Anomalies in their scans," it said. "We are not receiving consistent readings." "Something interferes with the data," another replied. "That is impossible. Their technology is primitive. There should be no disruption." Yet the anomalies continued. Humans had anticipated this. Their interference was small, deliberate, and unpredictable. The aliens were confused, realizing their assumptions about Earth's weakness might have been wrong. On Earth, Alina and her team celebrated quietly when the drone's predictable patterns were disrupted. The subtle defiance was working. Humanity was showing ingenuity, coordination, and intelligence. "We're sending them a message," Alina said. "Without firing a single weapon, we are proving we are aware, we are capable, and we are not weak." Ravi smiled. "And they won't know it's us. They'll think it's a natural anomaly." Perfect. Days turned into weeks. The aliens continued their observation but began to notice more inconsistencies. Some drones failed to return to the ship's main systems, others lost synchronization with the mothership. It was subtle, but enough to raise questions. "They are manipulating our drones," said one alien commander, his tone filled with disbelief. "But how? Their technology should not allow this." The aliens were used to civilizations that either fled or surrendered when confronted with their might. Humans were neither. They were polite, yes, but they were unpredictable, adaptive, and clever. The aliens did not yet realize the full extent of human potential. Meanwhile, humanity did not stop at interference. Teams of engineers and pilots devised methods to learn more about the alien ship without being detected, using small drones, satellites, and even balloons carrying advanced sensors. They mapped energy flows, shield patterns, and propulsion systems. Each discovery was logged, analyzed, and shared with global task forces. Alina watched the progress and felt a sense of pride. "They think we are weak," she said. "But every move we make, we learn. Every step we take, we gain strength." Ravi nodded. "And they cannot see the full picture yet. That is our advantage." The alien commanders grew increasingly concerned. For the first time, doubt entered their calculations. Their previous confidence that humans would simply comply was fading. "They are interfering with our observations," Ellen said. "They are. Clever. Too clever. Perhaps we underestimated this species," another replied. "Perhaps patience does not equal ignorance. Perhaps civility hides power. We must be cautious." On Earth, subtle victories gave humanity confidence. A drone attempting to scan a city was rerouted. Another lost synchronization with its mothership. And a minor communications relay was disrupted all without alerting the aliens to human involvement. It was a silent rebellion, a demonstration of intelligence, and a warning without aggression. Yet humanity did not become arrogant. They understood the stakes. One misstep could provoke a destructive response from the alien ship. Coordination, strategy, and patience were key. Alina gathered her team one evening. "This is not about fighting yet," she said. "It's about showing that we are aware, capable, and united. We are polite, yes. But that does not mean we are powerless. We need to continue observing, learning, and preparing. One day we may need to show them exactly what humans are capable of." Ravi looked thoughtful. "Politeness is strategy. I like that. They expect fear, but we give intelligence. They expect chaos, but we give order. They expect surrender, but we give patience." Above Earth, the aliens began to debate. Confidence was replaced with caution. Their strategies no longer guaranteed success. "These humans," one commander said, almost to itself, "they are different. They observe, adapt, and act subtly. We cannot predict them fully. And yet, they are still primitive. How do we proceed?" Another replied, "Observation continues. Testing them directly would be premature. We must understand this planet fully. But we should not underestimate their subtle cunning." Humanity continued its subtle defiance. Scientists discovered patterns in the alien ships, shields, and propulsion, learning how to avoid detection and interference. Engineers designed countermeasures using Earth's natural electromagnetic fields, energy flows, and orbital satellites. Each action was deliberate, calculated, and cautious. For the first time, the aliens realized they might be facing a species unlike any other, one that did not respond to intimidation, aggression, or fear, but one that could challenge them in ways they had not anticipated. Alina reflected on this as she observed the night sky. "They think they are testing us," she said. "But every test we endure makes us stronger. Every observation they make teaches us more. They do not know it yet, but humans are not weak. They will learn soon enough." Ravi joined her at the window. "Do you think they will attack?" he asked quietly. Alina shook her head. "Not yet. They are cautious. But they will come to realize that politeness is not weakness. We have time, and that is our advantage. We must continue learning, preparing, and observing. When the moment comes, we will show them what humans are truly capable of." As nights passed, humanity's subtle defiance continued. The alien ship hovered, drones scanned, and energy pulses flowed across Earth's orbit, but humans were no longer passive observers. Every minor disruption, every prediction of drone movement, and every strategic adaptation was a quiet declaration. Earth would not be conquered without a challenge. The aliens, now increasingly aware of human cunning, began to consider their next moves carefully. Their previous assumption that politeness meant submission was proving dangerously false. Patience, intelligence, and coordination were human weapons that could not be underestimated. And so, the silent dance continued. Humans learned, adapted, and subtly challenged the aliens, all without aggression. Politeness became strategy, patience became strength, and intelligence became their shield. Alina looked at Ravi one evening, the glow of the monitors reflecting in her eyes. "They think they are testing us. But every move they make teaches us. Every attempt to intimidate shows us their limits. They will learn soon that politeness does not equal weakness. We are ready, even if they do not know it yet." Ravi smiled faintly. "And when the time comes, they will see that humans can be patient, clever, and unstoppable when united. For now, we wait, observe, and prepare. That is our strength." Above Earth, the alien ship remained vigilant, its commanders puzzled. The subtle defiance of humans was unexpected, unprecedented, and intriguing. For the first time, the galaxy's most powerful observers recognized a species that might not bend under pressure. A species that could think, adapt, and survive in ways they had never seen before. The stage was being set. The silent defiance of humans was more than mere resistance. It was a demonstration of intelligence, unity, and potential. The aliens would learn, eventually, that politeness could conceal power, patience could be a weapon, and humanity could rise in ways that no one expected, and Earth, calm and unaware to most, had begun its subtle journey toward proving that civility was not surrender, and that the galaxy had underestimated humans at its peril. The sky above Earth remained calm, yet tension rippled through every observatory, laboratory, and command center on the planet. Humanity's subtle defiance had continued for weeks, quietly testing the alien ship's limits. But now, the time had come for a more direct demonstration. It was no longer enough to predict drones or interfere with their sensors. Humans had to show in unmistakable ways. Politeness did not mean weakness. Dr. Alina Ward stood in the center of a high-tech operations room. Holographic screens rotated in midair, showing the alien ship's position, its energy patterns, and the paths of reconnaissance drones. Engineers, scientists, and military strategists worked together, their movements precise and confident. "We have learned their behavior," Alina said, addressing the team. "We know how their shields fluctuate, how their drones respond, and how their communication systems operate. Today, we act. Today, we send a warning they cannot ignore." Ravi stepped forward, his eyes bright with determination. "Remember, we are not attacking. We are demonstrating awareness and capability. Our goal is to communicate strength, intelligence, and unity. That is our weapon." The plan was ambitious, but carefully calculated. Using satellites, energy relays, and strategically positioned power grids, humanity created a series of electromagnetic pulses. These pulses were subtle, but synchronized, temporarily interfering with parts of the alien ship's sensors and shields without causing permanent damage. To the aliens, it appeared as if the planet itself was producing unexpected energy patterns. The first pulse surged through space. Traveling toward the alien ship, lights flickered along the ship's hull as energy sensors scrambled to compensate. Drones adjusted their paths, some losing synchronization. The aliens' confidence wavered. "What is happening?" one commander demanded. "Our readings are inconsistent. Our systems fluctuate unexpectedly. How is this possible?" Another, tense and uncertain, replied, "This world. It reacts. It adapts. They are more capable than we predicted." On Earth, Alina and Ravi monitored the pulses closely. "Perfect," Alina whispered. "They notice us, but they cannot trace the source. That is exactly what we want." Humanity's demonstration was deliberate. The pulses were small, but undeniable. For the first time, the aliens realized that the planet they had observed for months was not a passive, weak world. It was a world of intelligence, creativity, and resilience. The alien ship's commanders conferred, their voices tight with concern. "We underestimated them," one admitted. "Their civility hides strategy, and their patience masks power. This species is unusual, dangerous in its own way." As the pulses continued, humans sent a direct message through secure channels that the aliens could detect. "We are aware of your presence. We are prepared to defend ourselves. Politeness does not equal weakness. Respect Earth as you would any intelligent civilization." The message, though calm and polite, carried undeniable authority. It was not a threat, but a statement of readiness. The alien commanders read it and paused. They had expected panic, fear, or submission. Instead, they encountered determination, intelligence, and composure. On Earth, people remained largely unaware of the true scope of the operation. Cities carried on with daily life, unaware that humanity had quietly asserted itself to the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Yet scientists and leaders knew this was a turning point. Humanity was no longer passive. Inside the alien ship, tension grew. Their strategy of observation and intimidation had failed to produce submission. Instead, humans had subtly challenged them, demonstrating intelligence, coordination, and courage. The realization unsettled even the most confident of alien commanders. "They adapt quickly," one said, voice tight. "Every action we take is anticipated. Every anomaly is studied and understood." "They are not weak," another replied. "Perhaps civility is not ignorance. Perhaps patience is not helplessness. This species is unlike any we have faced." Meanwhile, Elena's team continued their work. The electromagnetic pulses had exposed new patterns in the alien ship's energy systems. Humans discovered that certain shield nodes took longer to recover after interference, and that minor disruptions could propagate through the system without causing permanent damage. These discoveries were valuable, not for attack, but for understanding. Ravi pointed to a holographic display. If we continue carefully, we can teach them respect. Not with weapons, but with intelligence and strategy. That is our greatest advantage. Lena nodded. Exactly. They expect fear, chaos, or surrender. We offer none. We offer awareness, coordination, and unity. That is what makes us strong. The alien ship's commanders debated their next steps. Some urged retreat, believing that humans were too unpredictable to be safely ignored. Others argued for a cautious approach, emphasizing observation and study. For the first time, aliens realized that their reputation as the galaxy's strongest did not guarantee compliance. They are resilient, said one, his tone low. They do not fear us. They do not flee. They adapt. They learn. Another responded, we must proceed carefully. Their politeness is not weakness. It conceals strategy. Perhaps we have underestimated this planet entirely. As the day turned to night on Earth, Alina watched the stars and reflected on what had been achieved. Humanity had sent a clear message. Politeness does not equal submission. Intelligence, unity, and patience were just as powerful as any weapon. Ravi joined her, quietly observing the holographic data. Do you think they understand? He asked. Alina smiled faintly. They will. Slowly they will learn. And when they do, they will realize that humans cannot be underestimated. We are patient, clever, and prepared. That is our greatest strength. The following days brought further developments. Minor disruptions continued to ripple through the alien ship's systems. Drones occasionally lost synchronization, shields fluctuated unpredictably, communications were interrupted temporarily. Every subtle action reinforced humanity's message. Earth was not defenseless. Humans were aware, adaptive, and intelligent. Global leaders monitored the situation closely. There was no fear, only resolve. Humanity had united in a common purpose, demonstrating that intelligence and coordination could be as effective as the most advanced weapons. Alina and Ravi worked tirelessly, analyzing every reaction from the alien ship. Every fluctuation in energy, every drone adjustment, every shield response provided more information. Humanity was learning, adapting, and preparing for any eventuality, all while maintaining a calm, polite exterior. The aliens, meanwhile, grew cautious. Their initial confidence had been shaken, replaced by careful consideration. They had assumed submission. But humans had subtly proven that civility and patience could conceal strength. This species, said one alien commander, is unlike any we have faced. They are not merely primitive beings. They have strategy, creativity, and coordination. Civility masks intelligence. Politeness masks power. Another responded, we must reassess our approach. Direct confrontation could be risky. Observation alone is insufficient. We need to understand them fully. Before we act, as the alien ship hovered in orbit, humanity's subtle demonstration of capability continued. Each calculated interference, each strategic pulse, and each decoded signal reinforced a single truth. Earth would not bow without reason. Alina turned to Ravi and said, we have shown them that politeness does not equal weakness. But we are not finished. The next step will be even clearer. We will prepare for anything they might attempt. And when the moment comes, we will remind them. Humans are not to be underestimated. Avi nodded. They will learn eventually. And by then, we will be ready for whatever comes next. Above Earth, the alien ship's commanders continued their debates. Doubt had replaced certainty. Caution had replaced arrogance. They had encountered many civilizations, but none had responded with such intelligence. Patience and subtle defiance. They are. Remarkable, one admitted quietly. We will continue to observe, but we must proceed carefully. This planet is not as weak as it seems, so the silent warning had been delivered. Humanity had acted with intelligence, unity, and precision, demonstrating that politeness did not equal submission. The aliens had noticed, the galaxy had watched, and Earth had begun to claim respect not through aggression, but through awareness, strategy, and subtle power. The stage was now set for the next act. Humanity had sent its first clear warning to the galaxy's strongest. Politeness had been the mask, patience had been the strategy, and intelligence had been the weapon. The aliens would remember this moment, and when the time came for the next encounter, Earth would be ready to prove that politeness was not weakness that humanity's ingenuity, unity, and courage could stand against even the most powerful forces in the galaxy. Earth woke to a quiet morning, but for the first time in history, humanity carried a new awareness. The massive alien ship still hovered in orbit, but it no longer radiated the same confidence. Humans had acted with intelligence, coordination, and patience. They had sent a clear message. Politeness did not mean weakness. Now, the galaxy's strongest were beginning to respect Earth in ways they had never expected. Dr. Elena Ward stood at her observatory, gazing at the alien ship through powerful telescopes. The previous weeks had been a test of strategy, patience, and human ingenuity. Humanity had demonstrated subtle defiance, disrupted alien systems, and communicated readiness all without aggression. And now, the aliens themselves were reconsidering their approach. They are still observing, Lena said quietly to Ravi, who was beside her. But I can feel it. They respect us now. They know we are not a simple civilization. Ravi nodded. They will never underestimate humans again. They have seen what we can do with intelligence, strategy, and unity. Politeness is not weakness. That is our greatest achievement. Across the world, leaders and scientists monitored the alien vessel carefully. No sudden attacks occurred, no overwhelming weapons fired, no immediate threats were launched. The aliens were hesitant, uncertain, and cautious. Humanity had won its first victory, not through power, but through awareness, patience, and intelligence inside the alien ship. Commanders conferred in quiet debate. This species, it is unlike any we have encountered, said one, voice tinged with a mixture of respect and caution. They observe, adapt, and act with subtle strength. Civility masks capability. Patience hides power. We misjudged them, another responded. Yes, they are fragile in appearance but resilient in strategy. They are unpredictable. They are formidable in ways we did not expect. Humanity had learned that the most dangerous weapon was not destruction, but intelligence. The humans had anticipated alien movements, disrupted systems, and prepared in ways the aliens could not fully predict. They had sent a clear, calm message that Earth would not bow without reason, and the aliens had listened. Elena turned to Ravi, a smile forming on her tired face. We have done what generations before us could only dream of. We stood up to the galaxy's strongest not with fear, but with intelligence, unity, and courage. And they have noticed. Ravi glanced at the screens displaying the alien vessel. They are calculating, hesitating, respecting. This is the beginning of a new chapter for Earth. We have changed the way the galaxy sees us. While the world went on with daily life, humanity had undergone a transformation. Engineers, scientists, and strategists now saw themselves as part of a global network, capable of incredible coordination. Leaders understood that diplomacy, intelligence, and strategy could be as powerful as any weapon. And ordinary citizens, though unaware of the details, had unknowingly contributed to a united front that had impressed even the galaxy's strongest dot. In orbit, the aliens debated their next steps carefully. Some urged retreat, acknowledging that humans had shown remarkable ingenuity and could not be ignored. Others argued for continued observation, emphasizing caution and patience. The consensus was clear. Earth was no longer a trivial planet. They are remarkable, said one commander. We must respect their intelligence and strategy. They are patient, cunning, and unified. This planet is not to be underestimated. Agreed, replied another. We will withdraw for now, but keep observation. They are polite, yet capable. A challenge now, a warning in the future. Back on Earth, Alina and Ravi continued their work, not out of fear, but out of responsibility. Humanity had proven its intelligence, but the galaxy remained full of unknowns. Preparation, strategy, and awareness would always be necessary. Alina addressed the team assembled in the operations center. We have sent our message. We have shown them that politeness is not weakness. But this is only the beginning. The galaxy is vast, and there will be other challenges. We must continue to learn, to prepare, and to work together. That is the true strength of humanity. Ravi nodded. And now, we also know that we can stand our ground. We can face beings far stronger than ourselves, not with fear or submission, but with intelligence, courage, and unity. That is something no one can take away. As days passed, the alien ship gradually began to withdraw. Its presence in orbit became less imposing, its movements slower, more deliberate. The humans had made their point. Earth was not a world to be bullied or underestimated. Patience, civility, and intelligence had proven more powerful than raw strength alone. Global news eventually reported subtle changes in the alien presence. Scientists and observatories confirmed minor shifts in orbital behavior. But the truth of humanity's quiet victory remained largely a secret. Only those involved in the operations fully understood the depth of the achievement. Alina looked at the sky one night, reflecting on what had been accomplished. They will return, perhaps someday, she said. But now they know. Humanity is patient, clever, and united. Civility is not weakness. We have earned respect, Ravi smiled, and that respect will last. The galaxy will remember Earth, not as a planet to conquer, but as a world capable of intelligence, strategy, and courage. For the first time, humanity truly understood its potential. The world had united in unprecedented ways, combining science, strategy, and diplomacy to face an alien power far beyond their own. They had stood together, not as isolated nations, but as one species capable of remarkable feats. The alien ship, now gradually moving away from Earth's orbit, left behind a message in energy pulses, easily detectable by the humans' instruments. A subtle acknowledgement of respect. No words were used, only the rhythm of understanding that humanity had passed a test the aliens had set without knowing it. It is recognition, Alina said, watching the pulses. They respect us now. Quietly, yes, but respect nonetheless. We have changed their perception. Ravi nodded. And more importantly, we have changed ourselves. Humanity now knows that we can face any challenge with intelligence, patience, and unity. That is our true power. On Earth, people continued their lives largely unaware of the profound events unfolding in orbit above. Yet humanity had already changed. Governments, scientists, and everyday citizens now carried a new sense of capability and confidence. A planet united had proven it could face the galaxy's strongest, not with weapons alone, but with ingenuity, strategy, and collective courage. Alina and Ravi walked through the observatory one evening, feeling the weight and significance of the achievement. Do you think they will return? Ravi asked. Perhaps Alina replied thoughtfully, but if they do, they will approach differently. They will respect us, and we will be ready. We now know what humanity can achieve when we act as one, when we combine intelligence, patience, and courage. And so, Earth entered a new era. The galaxy had taken notice, and humanity had earned its place among intelligent civilizations. Politeness, patience, and strategy had become their greatest weapons, showing that strength was not always measured in firepower but in unity, intelligence, and courage. The humans who had once looked up at the stars in curiosity now looked with awareness, pride, and confidence. They had faced beings far stronger than themselves and had proven that the Earth was not to be underestimated. The alien ship disappeared slowly into the vastness of space, leaving Earth free but more aware than ever. Humanity had sent a message that would echo across the galaxy. We were polite. Until this moment, and now you will know that civility does not equal weakness. In every observatory, Every command center, in every scientific station. Humans celebrated quietly, knowing that their planet had taken its first steps into a larger universe, not as prey, but as a civilization of intelligence, courage, and unity. The galaxy had learned something new that day. Humans were polite, patient, and unassuming. But they were also clever, resilient, and ready to defend their world. Earth had proven that civility could conceal power, patience could hide strategy, and intelligence could rival strength, and humanity, for its part, had discovered something greater, the power to face the universe with courage. Unity and a steadfast refusal to bow without reason. The galaxy would remember Earth not as a fragile world to dominate, but as a civilization to respect, a species capable of standing proud among the stars. The stage was now set for the future. Humans had sent their warning, and the galaxy had listened. And one truth remained clear: politeness was not weakness. Intelligence, unity, and courage were the greatest weapons of all. Earth had been tested, and humanity had passed. The galaxy's strongest had learned to respect the quiet power of a planet united, and Earth would never be the same again. Earth had always been quiet in the galactic scale. For centuries, humanity had looked up at the stars with curiosity, wonder, and ambition. But for all their curiosity, humans had remained patient, careful, and polite. The galaxy was full of older, stronger civilizations, many of them aggressive. Humanity knew its place, or at least it seemed to. That quiet patience was about to end. It started with the signals. Deep space arrays, built by Earth's advanced scientists, had begun picking up unusual transmissions. They were not simple communications, but complex patterns indicating activity beyond human borders. At first, scientists thought they were distant natural phenomena, pulsars, quasars, or energy storms. But then the patterns started repeating. They were deliberate, structured, and unmistakably artificial. Someone or something was monitoring humanity. Dr. Lina Vasquez, the lead astrophysicist at the International Space Observation Center, was the first to recognize the implications. She had a reputation for precision and caution, but the tremor in her voice betrayed her unease. "These are not random signals," she said to her team. "They are too organized, too frequent. Something is watching us, and I do not think it is friendly." Her warning reached the United Nations Council. Earth's leaders were careful not to panic the population. But the message was clear. Humanity was being noticed by powerful alien civilizations. And the attention was not necessarily polite. Diplomacy began. Messages were carefully crafted and sent through newly developed quantum communication arrays. Humanity's tone was polite, respectful, and even cautious. "We mean no harm," they wrote. "We are open to peace, cooperation, and mutual understanding. But we are prepared to defend ourselves." It was a message designed to be polite, even humble. After all, Earth had little experience in the greater galactic arena. The humans had intelligence, innovation, and adaptability. But they were still young compared to the civilizations that had colonized star systems for thousands of years. The response from the galaxy's mightiest was immediate, but not respectful. The first emissary arrived in Earth's orbit aboard a vessel that was larger than any human starship. Its design was sharp, alien, and intimidating. The hull shimmered with colors no human eye had names for, and its arrival was silent, sudden, and final. Humanity's satellites captured the image, and the world watched as the unknown ship hovered above Earth's atmosphere. A voice came through the translators. Harsh, commanding, full of disdain. "Earthlings, you are beneath notice. Your warnings are amusing. Stand down or be removed." The Council of Earth's leaders gathered in emergency session. The ambassadors, scientists, and military advisors all debated the right course. Some argued for further diplomacy, reasoning that patience might prevent war. Others were already calling for readiness, insisting that humans could not show weakness. President Amina Patel finally spoke, her voice calm but firm. "We have been polite, We have warned them. We have extended the hand of peace, and they have mocked it. We are patient, but patience is not weakness. In the weeks that followed, humans observed the alien fleets assembling near the solar system's borders. The galaxies mightiest, known collectively as the Coalition of 10, had not taken humanity seriously. They believed Earth was an insignificant planet, technologically primitive, and not worth the attention of powerful species. But they were wrong. Deep beneath Earth's cities, secret facilities were already active. Engineers, scientists, and strategists worked around the clock. Starships that had been experimental prototypes were now mass-produced. Weapon systems, not designed to destroy for conquest, but to defend with precision, were tested and perfected. Humans combined ingenuity with cunning, designing strategies that relied on flexibility and adaptability, qualities that even the most rigid alien empires struggled to match. The aliens, meanwhile, continued their arrogance. Their emissaries delivered messages that combined insult with thinly veiled threats. They assumed humans were incapable of understanding advanced technology, diplomacy, or tactics. They assumed that patience meant submission. They were wrong again. Lieutenant Commander Yarek Mori, commander of the First Fleet-class human starship, studied the alien vessel designs in his briefing room. He traced his finger along schematics projected on the holoscreen. They think we are weak. They think we cannot fight. But they are slow, predictable, and arrogant. We can use that. His officer, Lieutenant Hanacho, nodded. Our weapons are ready. Our fleets are ready. We just need the order to act. Not yet, Mori replied. We act only if they force our hand. But when we do, they will remember that humanity is not polite because we are weak. We are polite because we choose to be. Humanity's first test came unexpectedly. A small alien scouting fleet entered the outer solar system, probing and mapping. The humans sent emissaries aboard unarmed observation ships, hoping to communicate. But the aliens attacked. It was a disaster for them. The humans, though fewer in number, were clever. They used the asteroid belt as cover, drawing the aliens into traps that turned speed and firepower into confusion. Human ships were smaller, more maneuverable, and capable of adapting in real time. Alien drones were destroyed, their systems hacked mid-combat by human cyber specialists. By the time the aliens withdrew, they had suffered far greater losses than humanity had. Back on Earth, the news caused shockwaves. For the first time, many humans realized just how underestimated their species had been. Children in schools learned that humans had not just survived against superior forces, they had triumphed through intelligence, courage, and coordination. The Coalition of 10, however, was slow to grasp the lesson. They called another emergency summit among their leaders. Many argued that humans were a fluke, a minor annoyance that could be eliminated if pressed. Others, older and wiser, began to see patterns. Humanity was resilient, inventive, and morally guided. Humans were not mindless aggressors, but beings capable of remarkable coordination under pressure. Meanwhile, Earth continued to advance. Scientists developed propulsion systems that could reach distant colonies in record time. Defense networks capable of detecting and countering alien attacks were deployed across the solar system, and humanity's diplomatic corps reached out quietly to other species. Forming bonds of mutual respect and cooperation, humans began to understand a fundamental truth. Being polite had never been about weakness. It was a choice. They had been patient, observing, and preparing. And if the galaxy continued to underestimate them, humanity would respond not with anger, but with precision, intelligence, and strength. The alien emissary that first mocked Earth's warnings returned to deliver another message. The voice was still harsh, still arrogant. Stand down, humans. You are insignificant. President Patel replied calmly from the command center orbiting Earth. We warned you. We were polite. But patience is not weakness. You will learn that we are capable of far more than you ever imagined. Across Earth, millions of humans watched the transmission. They felt pride, hope, and determination. For centuries, Humanity had looked to the stars as a place of mystery and challenge. Now, they were preparing to show the galaxy that Earthlings were not a species to be underestimated. The sky above Earth remained calm, the alien vessel hovering silently. But below, the planet buzzed with quiet energy preparations, strategies, and innovation. Humanity's hidden strength was awakening, and the galaxy would soon see that politeness had limits. And when the time came, humanity would no longer ask for respect. They would command it, because Earth had warned the galaxy's mightiest. And now they would act. The first real test came faster than anyone expected. Despite Earth's careful diplomacy, a small fleet of alien ships entered the outer edges of the solar system. These were scout vessels, not meant to attack, or so the humans believed. Their mission was clear: gather intelligence, map human defenses, and report back. But when the scouts detected humans, they made a fatal mistake. They assumed humanity would remain passive. Lieutenant Commander Yark Mori watched the radar screens aboard the Horizon, the lead human fleet ship. His jaw tightened as the alien vessels moved closer. "They're probing our outer colonies," Lieutenant Hannah Cho reported. "Sensors show light weapons deployment. They are testing us." Mori's hands hovered over the control panel. "They think this is harmless. But if we fail to act, they will continue to escalate. Prepare for defensive maneuvers. Let them see that we are not easy prey." The human fleet had fewer ships, smaller and slower in raw firepower than the alien scouts. But humans had something the aliens did not: ingenuity. Dr. Vasquez, observing the fleet remotely from Earth's command center, analyzed the alien tactics. "They move in predictable patterns," she explained to the commanders. "They rely on their numbers and technology. But humans are adaptable. We can turn their strength against them." Mori nodded. "Then let's show them what humanity can do." The first strike came from the asteroids. The human fleet used the dense asteroid belt as cover, hiding small, agile ships behind massive rocks. When the aliens moved closer, expecting an easy survey, humans sprung their trap. Missiles launched silently from hidden positions, targeting the alien scanners and weapon systems. The explosions were precise, disabling multiple ships without destroying the fleet. The aliens were confused. They had not anticipated such careful planning. "Increase evasive maneuvers," Mori ordered. "Use the asteroids for cover. Make them chase us." The human ships darted between massive rocks, forcing the alien scouts to slow and adjust. Their automated systems struggled to keep pace. Humans were faster, more flexible, and more coordinated. Commander Cho said, eyes wide as the alien fleet faltered. "They're underestimating us. We can finish them off before reinforcements arrive." Mori shook his head. "No. We defend, not destroy. Our goal is to send a message. We show strength, not recklessness." The humans used their superior tactics to disable several alien ships. Not with overwhelming force, but with clever maneuvers, hacking drones into each other. Using decoys made of asteroid debris and controlling electronic warfare to confuse their sensors, the aliens were stunned. They had assumed humans were weak, slow, and disorganized. They were wrong. Every move they made was anticipated and countered, not by brute force, but by human intellect and planning. Back on Earth, the news from the outer colonies spread rapidly. Children watching from classroom screens and adults monitoring. Home displays saw for the first time that humans were capable of defeating an alien fleet without sheer firepower. Humans were clever, patient, and resilient. "This changes everything," said President Amina Patel in a briefing. "They no longer see us as primitive. They will think twice before dismissing humanity again." The alien commanders, however, did not understand the lesson. They assumed the encounter was a fluke, a lucky alignment of circumstances. They retreated temporarily to regroup and report back to the coalition of 10, but the humans had already done more than just defend. They had sent a message that Earth was not to be underestimated. Mori directed his fleet to pursue lightly, careful not to provoke full-scale retaliation. "Let them leave with the memory of our strength," he explained to Cho. We don't need unnecessary destruction to prove a point. As the alien scouts retreated, humans discovered something remarkable. Their vessels had collected alien technology that was damaged but recoverable. Engineers immediately began studying it. Every new device, every small component, was a lesson in alien engineering. Humans would adapt it, learn from it, and improve their own designs. Dr. Vasquez smiled as she examined the recovered devices. "This will accelerate our advancement by decades," she said. "They think they are intimidating us. They are teaching us." Indeed, humanity's greatest strength was not only their ingenuity in combat, but their ability to learn quickly. While the aliens relied on intimidation and aggression, humans relied on intelligence, observation, and cooperation. Every defeat they inflicted was studied, understood, and used to improve their strategies. News of the encounter reached other alien species. Rumors began to spread throughout the galactic networks. Humans were not as primitive as the Coalition of 10 assumed. Some species, long oppressed or ignored, began to quietly offer intelligence and support to Earth. Humanity was becoming a symbol of cleverness and resilience, qualities that were rare among species that had relied on raw power for centuries. On Earth, the human military celebrated the victory quietly. No parades, no boasts, only acknowledgement that the first real battle had been won without needless loss. They had been polite, patient, and restrained. But the galaxy had seen their potential. President Patel addressed the world, her voice calm yet firm. Today, humanity defended its home and its people. We acted with caution, strategy, and intelligence. We did not strike first. We did not seek revenge. But we have shown that patience does not equal weakness. The galaxy is beginning to see that Earth is not to be underestimated. Meanwhile, in the corridors of the alien coalition, there was anger and confusion. How could a small, young species withstand even a small scouting fleet? Reports flooded in from the outer edges of their controlled space. For the first time, doubt entered the minds of the mighty. Not all aliens agreed on the next step. Some argued for a full-scale invasion to eliminate this threat before it grew. Others suggested caution, advising that humans might become valuable allies if treated with respect. It was a debate that had never existed before. Humans had disrupted assumptions, forced the galaxy's strongest to reconsider their approach. Back on Earth, preparations continued. Humans analyzed every detail of the encounter, the alien weapons, their tactics, and their communications. Engineers designed upgrades for faster, more resilient ships. Strategists ran simulations for possible future encounters. Scientists developed better sensors, shields, and communication systems. Maury looked out at the stars from the bridge of the horizon. "This was only the beginning," he said quietly. Cho stood beside him. "Do you think they'll come back?" she asked. "They will," Maury replied. "And when they do, we will be ready. They've learned that we are clever. They've learned that we are patient. And they will soon learn that humanity is not polite because we are weak. We are polite because we choose to be." That night, across Earth, millions looked up at the stars with renewed wonder. Humans had survived the first true test of the galaxy's mightiest powers. They had proven their ingenuity, courage, and moral resolve. And the galaxy, for the first time, had seen that Earth was no longer a planet to be dismissed. The stars were full of challenges, mysteries, and dangers. But humanity was ready. And the galaxy would learn that politeness should never be mistaken for weakness, because Earth had warned the galaxy. And now humans had acted.